Hump Day is here, and so is a string of active weather days. Mother Nature is going to be throwing a temper tantrum. A lot to talk about. Let's get to it in this Wednesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hi there, it's Wednesday, the 12th of March, 2025. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Building-in-Chief David Reimer. We are expecting a busy late afternoon and evening across eastern North Texas, the Arklatex, northeast Texas, with scattered severe storms. We're going to have a bit of a lull tomorrow, and then Friday is going to be similar to early last week with a major windstorm moving across the western half of Texas, bringing blowing dust, extremely dangerous wildfire conditions. And yeah, it's just not going to be fun. We're going to be dealing with extremely dangerous wildfire conditions today, too. Frankly, I guess we're just going to be doing that until we get rain. So let's just get to it. Let's start with the severe weather outlook for this afternoon and evening from the Storm Prediction Center. All right, let's start off with the severe weather outlook for this afternoon and this evening from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have the potential for scattered severe thunderstorms across eastern North Texas, northeastern Texas, the Arklatex. These are mostly going to be in the form of supercellular storms capable of producing some pretty nasty size hail, localized damaging wind gusts. The tornado threat is very, very low. It's not zero, but it's very low. I think this is going to be a hailer event and maybe some strong winds. This runs along the east of Highway 75 from Sherman down to Dallas, areas just east of Waco, all the way up into northeastern Texas. It includes places like Greenville, Tyler, Texarkana, Longview, Marshall. We'll show you the high-rise rapid refresh model in a minute to give you a sense of the timing elements of all this. But compared to yesterday, we have seen a bit of a shift towards later. So we've adjusted the timeline starting at about 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time up to about 11 p.m. Storms exiting Texas into Arkansas and Louisiana. We've also increased the hail size risk from golf ball up to tennis ball, and hopefully nothing larger than that, though. We are in that time of year where Mother Nature tends to start spitting out some pretty atrociously sized hail, so we'll keep an eye on it. The tornado risk, again, is very, very low. All right, let's take a look at the high-rise rapid refresh model. This will be for this afternoon, tonight, into Thursday. You can see storms initially firing up between 4 to 6 p.m. Along or just east of Highway 75 from Sherman down to Dallas, moving east. You can see this model does think they're going to struggle at times to intensify, but they do tend to become strongest as they approach the Arkansas and Louisiana state lines this evening, which would tend to favor the threat of the biggest hail, strongest winds, and maybe a tornado across northeast Texas after dinner time towards about 10 to 11 p.m. this evening. We'll be here keeping an eye on it, and we will definitely be posting updates on the socials and, if needed, live severe weather coverage. In terms of other sensible impacts, it's going to be a dangerous wildfire day, western half of the state. As the dry line shifts east, we're going to have very dry conditions, gusty west winds, probably some blowing dust. You know, that's what we're doing now. We're in one of these drought years. It's kind of the name of the game. So I hate to say get used to it, but get used to it because we're going to be doing this a lot more probably over the next several weeks. Blowing dust, though, probably won't make it too far east. Dryland will start retreating this evening, bringing southeasterly winds back to at least the eastern two-thirds of Texas tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at the high-rise rapid refresh model. Actually, this is the Global Forecast System, the Long-Range American Weather Model. I need more caffeine, clearly. You can see this model does tend to try to bring some precipitation into eastern portions of Texas Friday into Saturday morning. I just don't think that's going to happen. The Storm Prediction Center has removed all of Texas from the severe weather risk for Friday. It's going to all be east of us. Saturday is going to be a bad day for severe weather out in portions of the southeastern United States and Tennessee Valley, it looks like. Our issue Friday is by far going to be very strong winds across the western half of the state, similar to early last week. Widespread blowing dust, a legitimate dust storm concern. We're going to have extremely dangerous wildfire conditions all the way east of Interstate 35. Unlike last week where we had some rain along I-35, that line of storms, we're not doing that this time. So guess what? We're doing the crazy bad wildfire risk pretty much the western 75% of Texas for real this time. So it's going to be dry, very, very dry. Relative humidity values below 15%. Some folks will be in the single digits. It's going to be very windy. And fuels are dry. By fuels, I mean the grass, the brush, etc. Energy release component values, a measure of the amount of energy released by something if it burns, are at very high levels, meaning kind of the stage is set for a pretty dangerous wildfire situation here in the state of Texas on Friday. Meaning any fires that get going will have the potential to move extremely quickly, in some cases become uncontrollable until weather conditions improve, and that's just not good. So let's try not to set anything on fire, shall we? All right. Otherwise, I mean, we really just don't have any significant precip chances. I guess maybe a few showers late Friday night or Saturday morning, eastern third of the state, but it's not promising. I guess maybe the best chance for a little bit of rain will be across portions of East Texas going into Saturday morning. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday looking dry. We're probably going to have another system around Wednesday, and next week we'll have to keep an eye on. Speaking of which, here's the forecast rain totals going into next week. You can see we do have a decent chance of at least a little bit of rain along the Texas-Louisiana border, but it is what it is. So, good rain out west, good rains across the east. We get zilch for most of the state over the next 5 to 7 days, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at the wind. This is probably going to be the biggest issue in addition or in conjunction with the fire danger going into Friday. You can see we're expecting winds of at least 65 miles an hour. Panhandle, West Texas, we're expecting damaging winds over 60. Northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Permian Basin, into the Concho Valley. This model is probably underdoing winds a bit in Texoma, North Texas, into the Hill Country. We'll refine that as we get a bit closer tonight, tomorrow. We'll probably start being able to put out higher resolution weather model data guidance on this, and that may tick winds up a bit along I-35. Regardless, we're expecting very dangerous wildfire conditions. These winds will be out of the west-southwest. A lot of blowing dust. It'll get blown from New Mexico, western Texas. Another big old wall of dust probably moving east into parts of the I-35 corridor, maybe even East Texas by Friday evening. Here's your wildfire outlook. Today, extreme danger. Western half to western 60% of the state. Thursday, kind of an in-between day, but still high to very high fire danger, western half of the state. Then Friday is going to probably be a wildfire outbreak scenario. Even today has some similarities to wildfire outbreak scenarios of the past. Friday has the hallmark benchmarks of it all. Friday, unless you're like in the eastern quarter of the state, the fire danger is going to be at the top of the charts. It is going to be big, bad, very mad, spaghetti-o time. So, it is what it is. It's a drought year. We deal with these, and this is going to be one of those, I guess, until we get rain. And at this point, that does not look like it is going to happen anytime soon. Conditions will improve going into Saturday. High temperatures today near 100 in Laredo, the Rio Grande Plains, South Texas. We're going to go through these pretty quickly because guess what? It's spring. If you want your local weather forecast, you can get those out of the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps to your device. We use data from the National Weather Service and for those forecasts, so that's what you're going to get. Tomorrow, 70s, 80s, 90s across Texas. Friday, as that system comes in, we're going to have cooler conditions across the western third of the state. It's going to be very dry. It's also going to be dusty. But still, South Texas, triple digits, 70s, 80s, eastern two-thirds of Texas. Going into Saturday, you can see highs still 50s, Panhandle, West Texas, Davis, Guadalupe Mounds, Trans-Pecos, Borderland. 60s, Northwest Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Country, the Concho Valley. 70s and 80s, eastern, southeastern half of the state. And then Sunday, 60s, 70s, 80s across the state. Honestly, looks like a pretty nice day. And then a long-term outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Here you go. Above average temperatures continuing to look likely the 17th through 21st of March, eastern two-thirds of the United States, east of the Continental Divide. Western third of the United States west of the Continental Divide out towards the Pacific, looking below average temperatures. Here's the precip outlook. Like I said, it's a drought year, I guess, so this isn't going to change anytime soon, it looks like, and it is what it is. So expect more of these high-impact wind fire situations with a majority of the thunderstorm chances, at least on the bigger end days, probably being east of us for a good chunk of this month, or at least for the foreseeable future. At some point, that'll probably change. It always does, but for now, we're just going to be on the dry side of things. That'll be it for your Wednesday morning dish of the Texas Weather Roundup. If needed, we'll put an update out this afternoon. We'll be doing updates on the weather blog and website. You can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, daily Texas weather roundups, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps to your device. As always, you can find us on the web, texasstormchasers.com. We'll have updates through the day and evening. And remember, we're expecting some hailers this evening, northeast Texas, eastern North Texas, so you're going to want to probably park your car under something, and it better not be a highway overpass. We'll keep you updated. Y'all have a good day. God bless.